My name is Max Potter, and I will be talking about the social, economic, and environmental impacts of lionfish as an invasive species in the Northern Caribbean. The negative side. The Caribbean has more than 42 million people and are very dependent on the coral reefs for food and livelihood. The lionfish invasion could have serious social, economic impacts. The commercial and subsistence fisheries may suffer losses as lionfish prey on the economically important species, such as juvenile snapper and grouper, which are two of the highest fished and eaten and exported fish in the whole of the region of the Northern Caribbean, as well, or compete with those species for food, such as smaller juvenile fish, or lower down in the food chain fish. These competitions are causing a population decrease and may cause irreversible damage to the ecosystem. So, as a result of not having snapper or grouper, larger fish such as the Titan grouper and sharks such as the Great Caribbean reef shark and tiger sharks, they would not have their main source of food. As a result, they would either cause a massive decrease in population, or it might and it or they may cause them to become more aggressive towards people or any kind of other source of food that they might find. The economic side. Because of their role in upsetting the balance of coral reef ecosystems, the rapid growth of populations of these fish increases the threat of the region's coral reefs. Consequently, the region's fishing and tourism industries, which depend on coral reefs, may also be at risk. For example, the Bahamas is a collection of small islands off the east coast of Florida, which as a nation most entirely relies on the constant flow of tourists for their income. As a result of the Bahamas not having any source of tourism, there will be a lack of any sort of prevention towards lionfish, the populations of lionfish increasing, and any sort of supporting the animals at risk. The environmental. The defense of the lionfish. With venomous spines, lionfish have very few natural predators in their native habitat. No native predators in the Atlantic and Caribbean region. Although there have been reports of hammerhead sharks, or great hammerhead sharks, who have figured out how to turn over the fish and eat the underside. But there are no scientific articles, only stories and blogs. The hunting effectiveness. Lionfish are also ferocious and effective hunters, known to consume more than 50 other species of fish in the region, as well as having a mouth that expands, which allows the lionfish to eat multiple or even larger fish. Due to them being able to eat over 50 other species, that is a large part of the ecosystem that they are affecting, as well as having the expansion of the mouth allows them to eat a fish that is a third of their size, which is around 10 centimeters, which is the juvenile stage of the great barracuda. The small baby to small size for the Nassau grouper and the Titan grouper, as well as being so ferocious, they may even attack crustaceans. So juvenile lobster, which is a very, very expensive, and is a large source of income for the Bahamas. Reproduction. Lionfish multiply quickly. A single female spawns them more than 2 million eggs per year. They also reach sexual maturity in 2 years, which is quite which is quite compared to the lifespan of 10 years. So compared to other fish in the region, when they spawn, they have around 50,000, 500,000 to a million eggs, whereas a single female spawns more than double or quadruple that. As a result, as well as them having a very fast sexual maturity rate at 2 years, they are able to produce 16 million eggs over their lifespan of sexual maturity. Ability to suit different habitats. Finally, they can live in multiple coastal habitats, including coral reefs and mangroves, which are also very famous for being fish nurseries for sharks, groupers, lobsters, and many other crustaceans and fish. As a result of them having the ability to hunt in the fish nurseries and impact the natural population of the native fish, they can also hunt at depths ranging from the coast to more than 300 meters. So not only do they affect fish in the coral reef, but they also affect crustaceans at 300 meters. So also, people are deterred by the fact that lionfish can cause hours of intense pain due to their venom. But what people misunderstand is that lionfish are not poisonous, rather they are venomous. The difference is that poisonous is ingested and venomous is injected. So due to the confusion, people become more resilient towards trying lionfish. One of the main trials that the government are trying to put forward to get rid of lionfish in the Bahamas are eating lionfish. But because of this mix-up, there is no people willing to try and eat lionfish, as well as there's also a danger of not being properly trained and accidentally being injected with the venom, which can cause hours of pain. Unwillingness towards prevention. So why aren't there lionfish being consumed by humans? Most people don't want to try this new fish because they're used to having their groupers, their lobsters, and their very native fish, as well as they have been fishing the same species of fish for hundreds of years. So as a result, people are unwilling to try new things. People are scared of trying lionfish and also going anywhere near it. The ability to suit different habitats, their effectiveness of being able to eat multiple types of species at varying ages and varying sexualities, as well as their ability to hunt in shallow and deep waters, and also their defense towards any natural predators of the region of the Atlantic and Caribbean. So these are the positive sides. So as a result of those many negative slides, there are not a lot of positives for the lionfish, but there are some governments across the Northern Caribbean that are trying to respond to the lionfish invasion by developing new campaigns and cooperating strategies, such as encouraging local fishermen and markets to catch and sell the lionfish to limit the exponential population boom, as well as the government of Bahamas has just introduced a new system in which they would pay $30 for an adult lionfish, which would help motivate the lesser paid fishermen, as well as help out their families and help out the general community. To conclude, all the reference documents sourced tend to show the information is negative, therefore there does not appear to be a too real-sided argument. It does not appear that sponsorships have affected the conclusions or other papers affected the overall bias of the statistics, which further shows that the opinions are genuine. I believe this is due to the general opinion towards lionfish are bad. So as a result, most people just want to hear that they're bad and they can't take advantage of them. Other areas are being infected by lionfish, for example, the Mediterranean, the Gulf of Mexico, the Suez and Red Sea. The lionfish have been invasive and they're longer, and any study might benefit from examining the responses in these areas. Lionfish are commonly caught by local fishermen for many uses, one of them which is a source of food. Other species have also learned and have become resistant to the defenses of the lionfish and become their natural predators. As a result of this, I may need to consider changing my title to be able to construct a more balanced view. For example, I may change my title to How to Respond Effectively to a Lionfish Invasion in order to be able to connect the more than the same answer repeatedly and create a two-sided argument. Those are my sources.